And hi everyone, welcome back to our class. Okay, so this is our first ODL for math lecture. Okay, so just to remind that for OBM 101, we consist of 6 chapters, and today we will discuss for chapter 1, which is overview of information. Okay, so let's take a look on the slides. Okay, so this is the chapter 1. Okay, so let's take a look the overview of what is information actually. Okay, so information is something to answer the question that begin with words such as who, what, when, and how many. Okay, information we derives its meaning from word inform, there is to tell or give news. Okay, then it can be said that information is something organized or structured data which has been processed in such a way that the information has been relevant to specific purpose of context. Okay, and then information is a product of interaction between the source and the receiver, which include data, image, sound, signal, emotion, response, video, or any other forms. Okay, so this is just overview of voice information. Okay, next we will learn more on what is data. Okay, before we go through all on the real definition of information. Okay, so first let's take a look what is data. Okay, so data is kind of fact and figures recorded as a result of observation, survey, and research used to find answer or interpret situation. Okay, representing of information, okay, in a formal manner suitable for communication, interpretation, and processing. Okay, so this is the definition of data. Okay, something something that we can use for communicate, interpret, and process. That one is we call as data. Okay, data is collected and analyzed to create information suitable for making decisions and facts and figures that has been organized as a result of observation, survey or research. Okay, this is by Mary Gosling. Okay, so dikata data is collected and analyzed to create information. Okay, data something yang we find the image, okay, something like image, something like voice, okay, for us to interpret to become information. Okay, so individual facts, statistic, or a single piece of information usually to calculate, analyze, or plan something. Okay, then data, they have a raw data, okay, which is unorganized form. Okay, such as alphabets, numbers, or symbols. Okay, something, let's say we receive information, we receive the data in a form of number. Okay, then that one we call as raw data. Okay, and then but we need to transform it to become the information. Okay, so data that refers to a represent condition, idea, or objects. Okay, so just remember, data something that we can use to interpret the situation. Okay, it represent formal manner suitable for communication, interpretation, and processing. That one we call as data. Okay, so next let's take a look on the characteristic of data. Data becomes information by interpretation. Okay, data something yang dia datang, data tu something like yang kita boleh interpret to become information. Let's say your metric number. So when I receive a number, okay, let's say a list of number, then I know, oh, that one is metric number. Oh, that one is telephone number. That one we call as data. Okay, understand? Data is tangible part of information. Okay, kind of tangible from the information, and data is durable and can be used for a long period of time. Okay, and it can be anything that we can see, hear, or read in the form of text, sound, or vision. Okay, it can be from anything what we see, hear, or read from the text. Okay. Okay, next, let's take a look on the information. Okay, now let's take a look apa sebenarnya maksud information. So information generally knowledge derived from data. Okay, something. Okay, ingat information is knowledge yang we receive from data. Okay, daripada data, interpret the information. we interpret the data and then become information that consists of image, text, documents, and sounds. Information also can lead to knowledge regardless and medium of its conveyment to one another persons. Okay, according to Oxford Dictionary, information is informing, telling things to knowledge and news. Okay, that one is from Oxford Dictionary. Dia kata information this lah. Okay, something that yang kita informing, telling things to knowledge and news. And by Merriam-Webster, define information as a knowledge obtained from investigation. Okay, a study or instruction. And then Freire define information is an ensemble of data in a comprehensive form recorded on paper or some other medium and capable of communication. Okay, so there are around 4 different meaning of information here. Okay. Okay, next let's take a look on the main elements of information. Okay, so first, information must be accurate and timely. Okay, something, let's say we want to use for making decision making. Sorry, for decision making. Okay, of course lah, the information must be accurate and timely. Okay, and then the information must be specific and organized. Okay, presented with a context and give meaning. Okay, so information must be in context and give meaning to the topic. Okay, and then lead to understanding and decrease uncertainty. Which is when we read the information, we understand more and then decrease uncertainty for that situation. Okay. Okay, next let's take a look on the characteristic of information. Okay, so information often described as a commodity which can be sold, exchanged, accumulated, and stored, patented, and owned by not depleted when it used. Okay, considered to be personal, organizational, and national resource of great value, and it will be more valuable when it is quickly and easily available and effectively organized. Okay, which is information, something that we need to organize to make sure when we need the information, we can access the information quickly and easily. Okay. Okay, next, let's take a look on the definition of knowledge. Okay, so knowledge is the information. Okay, so knowledge come from information that is found to be relevant, strike the mind, can be interpreted, stored on a medium or in the mind and used for a purpose. Okay, knowledge is the result of manipulating and exploiting the available data, organizing and restructuring all the information from the data and transform into something useful. Okay, just remember, knowledge is something yang kita manipulate from data, become information, and then to change to something useful, then kita panggil sebagai knowledge. Okay, knowledge is used to understanding or information about a subject that you get by experience or study, either known by one person or by people generally. Okay, so this is from Cambridge Dictionary. Okay, and then from Collins Dictionary, they define a knowledge is information and understanding about a subject which a person has or which all people have. Okay, actually all the meanings brings to one conclusion, which is knowledge is something that kita boleh interpret from data and become information. Okay, that one we call as a knowledge. Okay. Okay, so next, others definitions of knowledge. Okay, by Mary Gosling. Okay, knowledge is a data which a person recognizes as relevant and is thought about, interpreted, stored in one memory or in a variety of format or used for a purpose. Okay, and then Steve Denning said that knowledge is something that is believed, okay, that is true and that is reliable. Okay, by Peter F. Drucker, knowledge is information that change something or somebody, either by becoming grounds for action or by making an individual or an institution capable of different or more effective action. Then knowledge also is kind of perception of the agreement and disagreement of two ideas. Okay, because to become a knowledge, it comes from a data first. Okay, it comes from data, interpret into information, and then become a knowledge. Okay, so that's why they kata agreement between agreement or disagreement between two ideas. Okay, knowledge is fluid, mix of frame experience, contextual information, values, and expert insight that provide a framework for evaluating and incorporating new experience and information. Okay, so next, this is an example of knowledge. Okay, knowledge it could be either explicit knowledge or tacit knowledge. Okay, so explicit knowledge is which is kind of information, data information, documents, records or file. Okay, and then tacit knowledge is something yang we need to study more, which is tacit knowledge will come from experience, from our thinking, from competence, from commitment and deed. Okay, so kalau tengok dekat this picture, okay, it show explicit knowledge is something in surface. Okay, tacit, when we go more, then we will know more. Okay, that one is the differentiation between explicit and tacit knowledge. Okay, next, let's take a look on the information literacy. Okay, information literacy can be defined as ability to identify, locate, evaluate, and select information in all formats in order to use it. Okay, information literacy, when you have the ability to identify, locate, and evaluate selected information, that one is we call as information literacy. Okay, United States National Forum of Information Literacy define information literacy as ability to know when there is a need for information, to be able to identify, locate, evaluate, and effective use the information for issue or problem at hand. Okay, if you see all the definition of literacy, information literacy from different perspective, actually is bring to one conclusion, which is when you have the ability to identify, locate, evaluate, and select information, that one we call as information literacy. Okay. Okay, let's take a look on the last. Okay, from American Library Association. Okay, they say that information literacy is a person who has the ability to recognize the need to the information and can locate, evaluate, and use the needed information effectively and begin learning how to learn. Okay, something like when you looking for for a book in a library. Okay, to kind of information literacy lah. Okay, you can you know what you are going to look, and then you can locate the information, then you read, then evaluate all the books. Okay, and then use it to become effective and begin learn on how to learn. Two kind of information literacy. Okay, that's why information literacy is important. Okay, why? Okay, so first, information literacy is critically important because we are surrounded by a growing ocean of information in all formats. Okay, so as we know that we are now in the era of we can search for information by in our fingers. Okay, buka handphone je, then we can find all the information. Okay, that's why important, because why importance of literacy ni, information literacy ni, sebab we surround by all information in all formats. Okay, dalam pelbagai formats kita ada. It could be either from voice, or from picture, from our view, okay, from research. Then not all information is created equal. Some is authoritative, current, reliable, but some is biased, out of date, misleading, and false. Okay. It could be a true information, it could be false information. Okay, so you need to identify it is true or not. Okay, then the amount of information available is going to keep increasing. Okay, and then the types of technology used to access, manipulate, and create information will likewise expand. Okay, to be information literate, individual must be able to use the tools and service provided by the information agencies, such as libraries, information center, and also must be capable to use the latest information technology such as internet, communication, and online database. Okay, to become literate individual, individual tu mesti able to use tools. Okay, let's say macam kita boleh search kat Google, and then but we need to identify either that website is false, okay, ataupun dia memang betul. So you need to know to tengok balik information tu sama ada betul ke salah. Okay. Okay, so next, there are 3 major skills needed to be information literate. Okay, so first, to be information literate, you need to find information in a variety of formats. Okay, you need to have variety of formats of information tu. Okay, dalam let's say contoh you learn about the topic from a journal, from research. Okay, and then or as you ask for another experience. Okay, that kind of variety of formats. Okay, able to find information in a variety of sources. Okay, jumpa the information from different sources. Okay, satu daripada website ni, satu daripada website ni, satu daripada newspaper, from magazine, from books. Okay, and then last one is able to find information within the sources. Okay, let's say when you go to the library, so you able to find within the sources. Dalam library tu you able to find. Tu a kind of skills needed to be information literate. Okay. Okay, so information literate person be able to. So dia boleh buat apa ni kalau information literate person ni? First, determine the extent of information needed. Okay, so he or she would know if the information is need to be extended. Okay, assess the needed information effectively and efficiently. Evaluate information and its sources critically. Okay, and then incorporate selected information into one's knowledge base. Use information effectively to accomplish a specific purpose. And then last one is understand the economic, legal, and social issue surrounding the use of information and assess and use information ethically and legally. Okay, so you need to remember when you are become literate person, you need to make sure the information is accurate, used effectively, ethically and legally. Okay, jangan salah guna information. Okay. Okay, next. Okay, so let's take a look on the 3 steps of information literacy skills. Okay, so this is the skills needed to become informative literacy. Okay, first you need to planning, research, or posing a question. Okay, when you want to know the information about the topic, okay, so you need to plan first and then posing a question. Come up with a question from the topics. Then you know on what the information you are going to find. Okay, and then organizing a way to search for the answer. Okay, organize a way. Let's say if you know you have list all the question, all the plan. Okay, then you need to moving by a search for answer. Okay, let's say this information is need to be found in the library, so you know all the information. Okay, and then next is finding the last one is finding resources. Okay. Okay, next is characteristic of information literate person. Okay, so first you need to recognize that accurate and complete information is the basic for intelligent decision making. Okay, and then recognize the needs for information. Okay, when someone have the to become a information literate person, so this is the characteristic. So they know to recognize the need for information. Okay, so what information needed to solve the problem, to add on the information. Okay, knows how to locate needed information. Tahu kat mana nak cari ni. Okay, formulate question based on information's needs. Okay, so based on from the topic, we know what is going to be asked. Okay, what is the needs for the information. Okay, and then identifies potential sources of information, develops successful search strategies, assess sources of information including computer-based and other technologies, Okay, evaluate information no matter what the source, organizing information from practical application, integrates new information into an existing body of knowledge, use information in critical thinking and problem solving, and last one is use information ethically and legally. Okay, actually, characteristic of information literacy ni lebih kurang sama dengan what is dia like really sama lah sebenarnya karakteristik dengan on literate person be able to buat apa. Okay, kind of ciri-ciri dia lah. Okay. Next, impact of information literacy. Okay, so what is the impact of information literacy to you? Okay, so students will learn to find, evaluate, and synthesize information, thus developing critical thinking skill, which hopefully leads better research. Okay, so you yourself, okay, so when you become information literacy, you know on to search for information. Okay, you know to develop critical thinking. Okay, then better research should lead to more success in study, thus increasing the retention rates of students. Okay, so you will know on how to study more. Okay, about the topic. Okay, and then the skills they develop are transferable to their eventual workplace, making the students more marketable. Determine the extent of information needed. Okay, assess the needed information and its sources critically. Incorporate selected information into one's knowledge base. Understanding the economic, legal, and social issues surrounding the use of information and assess the use of information ethically and legally. And then many paper information sources lies in difficult of updating them. And last one is the difficulty of indexing the context of any books or critically thoroughly. Okay, so this is the kind of the impact of information literacy. Actually, when you are one of the information literacy. Okay. Okay, next, let's take a look on the issues in information. Okay. So, so this is kind of issue in information because information is overlooked. Too much information. Information overload can be defined occurs when the amount of input to a system exceeds its processing capacity limits, and this happen when someone is trying to process too much information at the same time. Okay, when you want to read more information about that topic. Okay, so bila kita access too much, okay, then information itself akan like too much of information lah at the same time. That is kind of susah untuk korang to evaluate, okay, to interpret the data. Okay, information overload is a situation where there is too much information available and there is an increasing difficulty to get the exact information needed at a certain period of time. Okay, let's say for untuk making one decision, okay, then there's a lot of information comes. Okay, so kat situ mungkinlah susah untuk decide bila kita terlalu dapat banyak information. Okay. Information overload is a situation in which you receive too much information at one time and cannot think about it clearly. And according to Wilson, okay, so this is kind of another definition. Okay, information overload. Okay, it's something when someone cannot use the correct and relevant information efficiently because of the massive amount of information available. Okay, too much information pun will be issues sebenarnya. Okay. The next 7 types of response to information overloads. Okay, so ni adalah kind of a response. Okay, hoarder accumulates information for information's sake. They later destroy information without evaluating it. Time waster. Okay, time waster kind of request and seek for all information but does nothing with it. Analyzer as a means everything but can't make a decision. The did opposite all innovation. Okay, power user is a use information to seek opportunities but requires it in highly customized form. Okay, which then later recognize the value of critical information and use it for maximum benefit. And reframer is actively seeks and finds the positive side, recognize how much we benefit from the information. Okay, so this is kind of 7 types of response to the information overload. Okay, kalau terima information banyak sangat, it could be hoarder, deleter, time waster, analyzer. So this is all the 7 types. Okay. Consequence of information overload. Okay, so what is the consequences? Okay, so apa kesan-kesan dia lah. Okay, so first, difficult to determine the relevant information from the irrelevant. Okay, sebab because there are too much or overload information, so difficult to determine which information that should be used. Okay, and then does not understand the available information, feel amazed by the amount of information available. Sometimes bila information too much, kita sendiri pun rasa amazed dengan information tu, but then we don't know, we don't have the capability untuk decide to use which information. Okay, and then does not know the existence of certain information, and last one is does not know where to find the information and access the information. Okay, because banyak sangat ni, dan sometimes benda tu jadi confused. Kita tak tahu kat mana nak cari, kat mana nak access the information. Okay. And next, causes. Okay, causes of information overload. Information overload are usually causes by, kenapa? The existence of multiple source of information. Okay, sebabnya terlalu banyak sumber. Okay, overabundance of information, difficulty in managing information, irrelevance or unimportance of received information. Sometimes we receive from a variety of source. Okay, and then scarcity of time on the part of information users to analyze and understand information. Okay. Okay, next, solution of information overload. Okay, so what is the solution when the information is overload? So first, you need to spending less time on gaining information that is nice to know and more time on things that we need to know now. Okay, instead of you need to read all your information, okay, you need to focus on what we need to know. Okay, and then focusing on quality of information rather than quantity. A short consist of email is more valuable than a long email. Okay, and then learning how to create better information. Okay, so this is what info engineering is about. Okay, be direct in what you ask people so that they can provide short, precise answer. Okay, let's say bila kita nak tanya soalan, we go direct for the question. Tak perlu nak pusing pula sini sana sampailah terlalu banyak information receive. Okay, and then single tasking and keeping the mind focused on one issue at a time. Okay, jangan nak buat satu masa dengan untuk 3, 4, 5 things information yang perlu kita cari. Okay, you need to single tasking. Okay, and then spending parts of the day disconnected from interruptions. Okay, which is you switch off from email, telephone, website, etc. So you can fully concentrate on a significant period of time on one thing. Okay. That's good and poor information. So information can be either good or poor. Okay, so this is good consists of relevant, timely, accurate and complete, concise and reduce uncertainty. Okay, so untuk good information, bila kita kata relevant tu, information must relate to business at hand and fulfill the needs of user. Information must meet the user purpose that needed. Okay, and then timely must be available when needed. Okay, within the time frame yang kita decide lah. Okay, accurate and complete. Okay, the information must be accurate, must be accessible with the right information. However, it depends on the context itself. Okay, and then concise. The information must be understandable to those who are it and must be able to absorb quickly action. Okay, information tu tak boleh comes daripada data saja. Dan kalau data kita kena interpret pula. Okay, so benda tu mesti something yang dah jadi information lah, senang kita baca. Okay, and then reduce uncertainty, which is the information must meet the user's requirement completely in order to reduce the unknown entity. Okay, and then for poor information is relevant. Okay, irrelevant is kind of information is considered having a little value when it's too old or too outdated and not meets the user requirement, which is information let's say to answer the the information to answer the problem for 2022. Okay, tapi but the information we receive is from 1988 contoh. Okay, terlalu lama, outdated dah, so tak irrelevant kita panggil sebagai dia. Okay, and then swamping, too voluminous to allow sense to be made of it where the quality of information is much important compared to quantity. Okay, terlalu banyak. Okay, unclear, not well presented in a way it facilitate a decision. Okay, and last one is not all there. Maknanya incomplete lah. Okay, incomplete information fail to provide a clear sense of entirely of the problem. Okay. So format of information, it could be print, electronic, audiovisual, or microform. Okay, so for print, the information is printed form and usually use papers such as book, journal, pamphlet, seminar, paper, etc. Okay, so apa-apa yang printed, we call as print. Okay, electronic is an electronic format, use a computer to deliver information such as OPAC and internet. Okay, so for next topic, you will learn on how to use OPAC, which is we learn on how to looking electronic formats. Okay, and then audiovisual is a format require watching, listening, such as cassette, slide, film, CCTV. Okay, and then next is microform. Okay, microform reduce an image and put it on a plastic to read in a machine such as microfilm, microfiche, and microcartridge. Okay, so this is kind of format of information usually that we use. Okay, and let's take a look on the sources of information. Okay, so information can be from virtually anywhere. Okay, it could be from media, blog, personal experience, books, journal and magazine article, expert opinion, encyclopedia, and web page. And the type of information you needed change depending on the question you are trying to answer. Okay, maknanya sources of information depends kepada question yang you nak jawab. Okay, sama ada based on, let's say, kata we are looking for information berkaitan Mat Kilau contoh. Okay, so mungkin we go for interview. Okay, kita tanya orang-orang lama ke, based on their experience ataupun based on books. Okay, based on cerita-cerita lama. Okay, so kind of maknanya benda tu adalah berbeza based on orang punya question you are trying to answer. Okay. Okay, sorry. Okay, sources of information or evidence are often categorized as primary, secondary, or tertiary material. Okay, so the sources of information ni akan ada tiga. Okay, sama ada primary, secondary, or tertiary material. Okay, so let's take a look on the each sources of information. Okay, so first is primary sources. So okay, so these sources are records of events or evidence as they are first described or actually happen without any interpretation or commentary. Okay, yang ni first. Okay, primary adalah bila sources tu adalah first describe actually what happened. Okay, tanpa ada interpretation, tanpa ada commentary. It is information that is shown for the first time or original material on which other research is based. Primary source display original thinking, report on new discoveries, or share fresh information. Okay, so example of primary sources ni adalah kind of thesis, dissertation, scholarly journal article. Okay, because the result adalah based on dia punya research. Okay, without any others add on another variable ke. Okay. Okay, and then secondary sources. These sources often an analysis or restatement of primary sources. Okay, maknanya secondary sources ni adalah bila analisis yang daripada primary sources. They often try to describe or explain primary sources. They tend to be words which summarize, interpret, reorganize, or otherwise provide an added value to primary sources. Which is katalah primary sources ni kita study pasal orang punya perceptions towards this topic contoh. Okay, this OBM 101. Tapi bila secondary sources ni, we put another elements. Okay, two kind of secondary sources. Okay, example dia adalah textbook, edited works, book and article that interpret from review research. Okay, and then last is tertiary sources. Tertiary sources is there are sources that index, abstract, organize, compile or digest other sources. Some different material and textbook are considered tertiary sources when their chief purpose is to list, summarize, or simply repack ideas or other information. Tertiary sources are usually not credited to particular author. Okay, tertiary sources ni bila we discuss about one topic, but we combine from different perception, from different author. Tu kan, maknanya kita compile. Sebab tu dia kata, which is index, abstract, organize, compile or digest from other sources. Bila kita ambil a few article, a few books, kita baca 3 buku and then kita compile jadi satu, itu kita panggil sebagai tertiary sources. Okay, so example dia adalah dictionaries, Wikipedia, bibliographies, directories, guided book, manual, and so on. Okay, next, let's take a look on the types of knowledge. Okay, so this is the last topic. Okay, types of knowledge. There are two types of knowledge, and then the importance of knowledge to organization. Okay, so they have two types of knowledge, which is tacit knowledge and explicit knowledge. Okay, tacit knowledge is unwritten, unspoken, and hidden knowledge held by human being based on his or her emotions, experience, insight, institution, observation, and internalized information. Okay, tacit knowledge is experience of person's consequences of memory and is acquired largely through association with other people and require joint or shared activities to be imparted from one to another. Okay. In other words, knowledge that is not printed or published and normally resides in person's memory. So kena ingat kalau tacit knowledge ni something in person's memory. Okay, something knowledge that came from personal experience and is more difficult to express. Itu adalah tacit knowledge. Okay, and then kalau explicit knowledge, articulated knowledge expressed and recorded as word, numbers, coded, mathematical and scientific formula and musical notation. Okay, which is something printed yang ada on paper, which is kita tulis dalam bentuk word, dalam bentuk number, dalam coded, dalam bentuk mathematical formula, notation, musical notation, tu adalah kita panggil sebagai explicit knowledge. Okay, explicit knowledge is easy to communicate, store and distribute and is the knowledge found in books, on the web and other visual or oral means. And it is recorded information and well published. Okay, so kena ingat kalau explicit knowledge ni, knowledge that easy to articulate, which is information have been write down and shared to other people. Okay, which is kalau let's say from tacit ni, from tacit we boleh bawa kepada explicit, which is from my experience. Okay, from my experience, then I transfer it to a book. Then we call from daripada tacit knowledge become explicit knowledge. Okay, so kena ingat lah. Okay, itu adalah kind of knowledge yang ada. Okay, so next slide ni actually dia represent benda yang sama je lah. Okay, so itu saja untuk hari ni, untuk this topic. That's all class. So for any question, we will discuss on our tutorial class. Okay, so thank you for watching and listening. Hopefully you gain something from this video. Thank you everyone. Bye.